Beneath the canopy of the world's largest rainforest, something is hiding. Not a myth, not a legend. Geometric earthworks larger than cities, cut into the earth thousands of years ago. Roads running in perfectly straight lines for miles through dense jungle. Plazas, canals, and bridges connecting settlements that until recently we were taught it could not have existed. For 500 years, the story we were told was simple. The Amazon was wilderness, untouched, too harsh, too poor in resources to ever support large, complex civilizations. That story is now collapsing. Modern satellite technology and a laser-based scanning system called LiDAR have revealed something the jungle has hidden for centuries. Cities, networks of them, some larger than medieval European towns. And we are only beginning to understand what we're looking at. This is the real story of the lost civilizations of the Amazon. For centuries, Western explorers dismissed the Amazon as a green desert. The soil seemed too poor for large-scale farming. The climate seemed too harsh for permanent cities. Early Spanish conquistadors told different stories. In 1542, explorer Francisco de Orellana traveled down the Amazon River and reported seeing densely populated riverbanks. He described large settlements, organized roads, and thousands of people. He even described a tribe of warrior women, which is partly where the river got its name, after the Amazons of Greek mythology. For centuries, historians dismissed Orellana's account as exaggeration. Travelers' tall tales, they said. Nothing more. It would take nearly 500 years, and technology Orellana could never have imagined, to prove he might have been telling the truth all along. The breakthrough came from a technology originally designed for completely different purposes: LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Aircraft equipped with LiDAR systems fire millions of laser pulses down through forest canopy. Most of the light hits leaves and branches, but some pulses slip through gaps in the foliage and bounce off the ground itself. By measuring the time it takes each pulse to return, scientists can build an incredibly detailed 3D map of the Earth's surface, even underneath thick rainforest canopy. For archaeologists studying the Amazon, this was revolutionary. For the first time, they could see the ground without cutting down a single tree. And what they found changed everything we thought we knew about pre-Columbian civilization in South America. In 2022, a team of researchers led by archaeologist Heiko Prumas published findings from the Llanos de Moyos region of Bolivia. Using LiDAR, they identified two enormous ancient settlements, Cotoca and Landivar, hidden beneath the jungle. These weren't small villages. Cotoca alone covered an area comparable to a medieval European city. The site featured massive stepped pyramid structures, some over 70 feet tall. Researchers identified more than 26 settlements connected by an intricate network of roads and canals stretching across the landscape. The civilization responsible, known to archaeologists as the Kasarabe culture, flourished between roughly 500 and 1400 AD. They built elevated causeways to manage flooding. They constructed reservoirs to store water during dry seasons. This was sophisticated urban planning, executed by a society that mainstream history had almost completely ignored. Prumas and his team described the discovery as revealing low-density urbanism, meaning the cities weren't built like dense European centers, but spread out, woven into the landscape itself. A different model of civilization entirely, one that worked in harmony with the rainforest rather than clearing it away. Long before the Bolivian LiDAR discoveries, another mystery had already begun reshaping our understanding of the Amazon, the Geoglyphs of Acre, Brazil. Starting in the 1970s, as ranchers cleared sections of rainforest for cattle farming, something strange began to appear in the newly exposed earth. Massive geometric shapes, perfect circles, squares, and complex geometric patterns carved directly into the ground. Some of these earthworks stretch up to 300 meters across. Researchers have identified over 450 of these geoglyphs across the Brazilian state of Acre alone. They date back as far as 2,000 years. For decades, nobody knew they existed, because the forest canopy had hidden them completely. It was only when the trees came down that the shapes beneath were finally revealed. What's remarkable is the precision. These aren't crude marks in the dirt. They are geometrically exact, in some cases nearly perfect circles dug with consistent depth and width across enormous areas. Building structures like this required organized labor, advanced surveying knowledge, and almost certainly a centralized society capable of directing large groups of people toward a shared purpose. This is not what a population of small, scattered hunter-gatherer tribes would produce. This is what organized civilizations produce. If large populations lived in the Amazon, archaeologists faced an obvious question. How did they feed themselves? The Amazon's natural soil is notoriously poor for agriculture. Acidic, nutrient-depleted, and unable to sustain intensive farming for more than a few seasons before exhaustion. This was actually one of the strongest arguments against the existence of large Amazonian civilizations for decades. The land simply couldn't support enough food production. Except, in certain regions throughout the Amazon basin, scientists discovered something extraordinary. Patches of soil that were unnaturally fertile, dark, rich, almost black in color. Researchers named it Terra Preta, Portuguese for dark earth. Unlike the surrounding natural soil, Terra Preta is incredibly fertile and remains productive for centuries, even with continuous farming. Scientists studying Terra Preta discovered it isn't natural at all. It's man-made. Ancient Amazonian populations created it deliberately by mixing charcoal, broken pottery, bone and organic waste into the soil over long periods of time. This process, sometimes called biochar enrichment, fundamentally transformed the chemistry of the earth itself. It allowed the soil to retain nutrients far longer than untreated rainforest soil ever could. In essence, ancient Amazonian societies engineered their own fertile farmland, on a scale that some estimates suggest could have supported populations of millions of people across the basin. This single discovery dismantled one of the core arguments against Amazonian civilization. The land wasn't naturally capable of supporting large populations. The people made it capable. So who exactly were these people? The Amazon was never home to a single unified empire like the Inca or the Aztec. Instead, evidence suggests a patchwork of distinct, interconnected societies, each adapted to their specific region of the basin. The Casarabi culture in Bolivia built monumental architecture and complex water management systems. The societies responsible for the Acre geoglyphs left behind precise geometric earthworks, whose exact purpose is still debated: ceremonial sites, gathering places, or possibly astronomical markers. Further north, along the central Amazon River itself, evidence points to dense riverside settlements very similar to what Francisco de Orellana described in 1542. These weren't primitive villages. Archaeological evidence shows sophisticated pottery traditions, complex trade networks stretching hundreds of miles, and social structures capable of organizing massive infrastructure projects. Some researchers now estimate that pre-Columbian Amazonian populations may have numbered in the millions, far higher than any previous estimate. If true, this would mean the Amazon basin supported one of the largest population concentrations in the pre-Columbian Americas. Hidden the entire time beneath a canopy we assumed had always been empty wilderness. If these civilizations were this advanced, this populous, this sophisticated, why does almost nothing remain above ground today? The answer is as devastating as it is simple: disease. When European explorers and colonizers arrived in South America, beginning in the late 1400s, they carried diseases that indigenous populations had never been exposed to: smallpox, measles, influenza. These diseases spread along trade routes and river systems far faster than the Europeans themselves traveled. Some researchers estimate that within just a century or two of European contact, indigenous Amazonian populations may have declined by 90% or more. Entire societies, the builders of these cities, these earthworks, these elaborate water systems, were wiped out before most of them ever had direct contact with a single European colonizer. The knowledge of how to maintain Terra Preta soil died with them. The labor required to maintain canals, causeways, and earthworks vanished, and the rainforest, relentless and fast-growing, reclaimed everything within a few generations. By the time later explorers and scientists studied the Amazon in depth, they were looking at a landscape that appeared to have always been wild. In reality, they were looking at a graveyard, a civilization's remains, swallowed by the very jungle it had once carefully shaped and managed. Despite everything LiDAR and modern archaeology have revealed, the Amazon remains almost entirely unexplored at this level of detail. The Llanos de Mojos survey in Bolivia covered only a small fraction of the broader region. The Acre geoglyphs represent only the areas where deforestation happened to expose the ground. Scientists estimate that less than 10% of the Amazon basin has been surveyed with LiDAR technology capable of revealing structures hidden beneath the canopy. That means, statistically, the vast majority of whatever remains out there has never been seen by modern science at all. Every new survey seems to reveal more than expected. Every region scanned in detail produces new settlements, new earthworks, new evidence of organized ancient societies. If the pattern holds, the cities discovered so far in Bolivia and Acre may represent only a small fragment of what's actually out there. There could be entire cultures, entire urban networks still completely unknown, sitting beneath unbroken rainforest canopy at this very moment. Here at Ancient Atlas, what strikes us most about the lost cities of the Amazon is not just the scale of what was hidden, it's how recently we discovered we were wrong. For 500 years, the dominant narrative insisted the Amazon was empty, a green wilderness incapable of supporting complex civilization. That narrative shaped how we understood an entire continent's history. It justified colonization. It erased the memory of millions of people who had lived, built, farmed, and organized complex societies for over 1,000 years before European contact ever happened. Modern technology didn't just find buried cities. It corrected a 5-century-old mistake about what an entire civilization was capable of. The Kasarabe culture's pyramids, the geometric precision of the Acre geoglyphs, the deliberately engineered fertility of Terra Preta soil. These are not the remnants of scattered, simple tribes. They are the fingerprints of organized societies that rivaled anything built in Europe or Asia during the same centuries. Societies that were almost entirely erased by disease before history had the chance to record them properly. The Amazon rainforest, the place we once called untouched wilderness, may in fact be one of the largest unmarked graveyards of human civilization on the planet. And we have only just begun to read what's written beneath it. How many more cities are waiting under that canopy right now? How much more of human history has the jungle been quietly protecting, waiting for the technology to finally let us see? We don't know yet. But for the first time in 500 years, we're finally asking the right question.